Yes, opened third chapter. So third chapter, it deals with planning the audit. If you see, we have completed SA-200, SA-210. Now going to SA-300. In the SA-210, we have dealt with audit engagement letter. That is, before accepting the audit, how you will enter into engagement letter, right? Now, after entering into the engagement letter and after you have accepted the auditor, you will start the audit, right? So while starting the audit, you will first of all plan your right audit, right? So basically there are three stages in the audit. What are those three stages? Firstly, planning stage, which will be of course dealt by SA 300, which we are discussing now in this chapter. So this chapter entirely it covers SA 300, which completely deals with planning the audit. Next, execution stage, there are various standards that cover with this execution of the audit, which is the second stage. Finally, after you have executed the audit, you will obtain audit evidences, and based on that audit evidences, you will give your opinion in the audit report. So which is reporting stage. Reporting stage is the final third stage, which will be dealt by 700 series. So complete 700 series deals with reporting. These are the three stages of audit. Now we are in the planning stage, which is SA 300, planning and audit of financial statements. Now you can get it out, sir, why planning is required for the audit? See, let's say for example you are going for a tour. Will you plan your tour or not? Which places you have to visit, how to travel, how many days, all these things you will travel or not? After all, for a tour you are planning. And audit, such a serious job, will you do the audit without planning? Do you know what will happen if you do the audit without planning? You cannot do effective audit in an efficient and timely manner. Understanding? So when someone asks you why you have to plan the audit, you have to say that we should plan the audit to do effective audit in an efficient and timely manner. Now, sir, what is meant by effectiveness and what is meant by efficiency? See, these two terms, they are very much important. We will be seeing them lot of times. So first of all, let us understand the difference between effectiveness and efficiency. So quickly, I'll give you an example. You are preparing for your CA examinations, right? You are preparing for both the groups. Two groups you are preparing. You wrote the examination and you have cleared only one group, let's say for example. Then it will be said that you are 50% effective. If you have cleared both the groups, then it will be said that you are 100% effective, right? So effective means achieving your objective. How much of your objective have you achieved? That is effectiveness of audit. Understanding? So what is the objective of audit? To obtain reasonable assurance, right, that financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements. So how much of that objective has been achieved will be measured in terms of effectiveness. So if you don't plan the audit properly, you cannot do the audit effectively. You cannot achieve your objective. Understood what is meant by effectiveness? Now going to efficiency. Let's say for example, the same example, CA exams, there are two students, Mr. A, Mr. B. Mr. A is preparing for two groups. Mr. B is also preparing for two groups. Mr. A has studied for 6 months. Mr. B studied for 3 months. Both of them, they wrote examinations. Both of them cleared both the groups. Mr. A cleared both the groups. Mr. B also cleared both the groups. Now here both of them are effective only. But who is efficient? Mr. B is efficient because he used less resource, 3 months only, for clearing the or for achieving the target. But Mr. A used 6 months. So efficiency is the comparison between input and output, understanding that is efficiency. So if you plan the audit, you can do the audit in a efficient manner. That means with less resources you can achieve maximum output. What will be the resources in case of audit? See, the article staff itself will be the resource, the paid assistants, these people will be the resource in case of audit. And also time will is also resource in case of audit, and even money is also resource in case of audit. So all these resource you will utilize less if you properly plan the audit, understanding. So you can efficiently and effectively do the audit in a timely manner if you properly plan the audit, getting it? Yes, so that is the purpose why you will plan the audit. Now you can say, sir, what are the benefits of planning the audit? See, you will have a lot of benefits because of planning the audit. First of all, you can focus on more important areas. See, you can devote your time on most important areas, and you will also get to know potential problems. Potential problems means the problems which might occur in the future. That problems now only you will get to know if you properly plan the audit, understanding, resolve potential problems. Potential means future problems. Now only you will get to know, and you can prepare proper solutions to resolve those problems. You just think this like preparing a plan for your CA inter examination preparation. So during preparation you will prepare a schedule. This time, this date, I will go with this subject like this. You will prepare a schedule, correct or not? Now because of that schedule, what will happen? You can focus on more important areas. And also if there are any potential problems, like you wanted to study at morning 5 o'clock, you want to wake up. The potential problem is you will be sleeping, you might not be able to wake up. So the thing is, you have to sleep early in the night so that you can wake up early in the morning. That is the solution for the potential problem that might occur. Like this, planning will help you identify potential problems. Next, properly organize and manage the audit. So once you have the clear plan, everything will be under your control. Okay, so every situation will be under your control so that you can properly manage everything. That is also one of the benefit. Next, selection of engagement team members. So in the planning stage itself, you will get to know how much difficult to audit this entity, which experience is required to audit this entity. Since you will get to know all these things, in the engagement team you will include those people who are having that experience, understanding. So planning will also help you to decide to select engagement team members. Next, direction and supervision of engagement team. You can give guidance, you can supervise the engagement on the work that they have done with the help of planning. And coordination of work done by others, such as experts. So during the audit you have to utilize the work of various experts. One of the example, let's say for example, inventory is present beneath the earth, like oil or petroleum is present beneath the earth. Now auditor cannot go beneath the earth to identify the existence of inventory. He will use work of some experts, right? So in such a situation, whether there is any requirement for the expert, that you will get to know in the planning stage itself. So you can properly coordinate with the expert from prior hand itself. We will be covering this in SA 620, but however, SA 620 you don't have in your syllabus, but SA 500 you have. In SA 500, we will be dealing with management's expert. SA 620 deals with auditor's expert. Auditor's expert concept, CA inter you don't have, but management expert concept you have in SA 500. While discussing management expert, you will get to know. Next, elements of planning process. So what elements are there in the planning process? Firstly, there are certain preliminary engagement activities. Preliminary engagement means, preliminary means before, starting the engagement, you will perform certain activities known as preliminary engagement activities. What are these preliminary activity engagement activities? If you see in SA-210 we have seen some preconditions, and even in the quality control chapter we will be seeing certain client acceptance and continuance procedures. In SQC1 we will discuss the client acceptance and continuance procedure. That means in order to accept the client or not to accept the client, you will perform certain procedures like verifying integrity of the client, whether your engagement team is having competence, capability to perform the work, and also if you accept the work, will you be able to comply with the ethical requirements. These things you will see while discussing quality control chapter SQC1. So these are nothing but preliminary engagement activities. So planning includes preliminary engagement activities also. See, client acceptance and continuance procedures as per SQC1, standard on quality control. There we will discuss in depth about client acceptance and continuance procedures. So what will these client acceptance and continuance procedure include? First of all, verifying integrity of principal owners. See, here they are speaking not about the integrity of auditor, but integrity of client. Is client having integrity, or client is involved in any money laundering activities? These things you will verify about the client and decide whether to accept him or not. If you find that client is a fraudulent person, client is number one fraudster, there are a lot of cases against him, then you will not accept the engagement, correct or not? So first one is checking the integrity. Next, competence of engagement team. Next, client is fine, client is a good person, but your engagement team is not having experience, expertise to do the work of client, then you will not accept the engagement, correct or not? If your team is not having proper knowledge to discharge the work, that is also preliminary engagement activity, one of the client acceptance and continuance procedure that you will perform. Another client acceptance and continuance procedure, communication with predecessor auditor. Predecessor auditor means previous auditor. Before client has approached you to audit the books of accounts in the last year, someone would have audited, you will call him as predecessor auditor, and you will once communicate with the predecessor auditor. Predecessor auditor, why client is has come to me instead of going coming to you? Is there any issues? Like this you will communicate with the predecessor auditor. This will help you in deciding whether to accept the engagement or not to accept the engagement. Next, implication of current and previous audit engagements. So if the auditor has already performed certain work for the client, the findings that he has found during that work will also be considered by the auditor in deciding whether to accept this engagement or not. This is also one of the client acceptance and continuance procedure. Next one is compliance with ethical requirements including independence. This is also a client acceptance and continuance procedure. So if you accept this client, will you be able to comply with all the ethical requirements? Will you be able to comply with independence? If you feel that if you accept this client, you cannot act independently, you cannot comply with ethical requirements, then you will not accept the client, right? So this, when you are deciding, before accepting, before starting the audit only you are deciding this, so you are calling this as a preliminary engagement activity, understanding? So preliminary engagement activities are also part of planning process, as I told you. Okay, elements of planning process include preliminary engagement activities, and preliminary engagement activities includes all these things. Next, understanding terms of engagement. This we have seen in SA-210, one of the precondition to accept the audit. Clear? Almost all of those things we have already discussed. Next, planning activities. So, in the planning process, see, you should not confuse. Planning process is different from the planning activity. Planning process is broader, and planning activity is one part of planning process. Planning process includes both preliminary engagement activity as well as planning activities. Getting it? Now there are three planning activities that you will perform. First one is preparation of overall audit strategy. Now what is meant by overall audit strategy? See, overall audit strategy is a broader one which will establish what has to be done and when it has to be done. So sorry, overall audit strategy will give you answers to two questions: what has to be done and when it has to be done. Okay, see, addresses what and when of and sets scope, timing and direction of audit. So what and when will be answered by strategy. I will also give you example. Once I discuss plan also, I will give you example. Next one is developing audit plan. So developing audit plan, plan covers, see, plan is more detailed in nature. Plan covers how it has to be done. So in the strategy, see, let's say for example, there is a company. That company wanted to increase sales. So for increasing sales, first of all, it will prepare a strategy. Strategy will be always prepared first, that you need to remember. So strategy covers what has to be done, right? Now, to increase the sales, you can either launch new product, correct or not, or you can expand to new location, correct or not, or you can increase the sale price. So all these are the options. So what you wanted to do in order to increase the sales? Let's say you have chosen to launch a new product. So your strategy is to launch a new product, and strategy will also cover when it has to be done. Let's say you wanted to launch new product after 6 months. So what has to be done, when it has to be done, will be answered by strategy. Next, to achieve the objective specified in strategy, you will have to prepare plan. So what will be your plan to launch a new product? First of all, you should identify new product. So you will perform research and development to identify a new product, to develop a new product. Once a new product is developed, that has to be manufactured. So you will spend money on a plant, the factory for manufacturing. After that, you should also market the new product. So marketing expenditure. So this is the plan. So how you want to achieve that, the thing that is specified in strategy will be dealt by the plan, and plan will be more detailed when compared to strategy. Getting it? So these are the things that you need to remember. Strategy is brief, plan is more detailed. Strategy is prepared first, then plan is prepared. Plan is always prepared based on strategy. Strategy answers what has to be done and when it has to be done. Plan answers how it has to be done, which is more detailed. Got it? This is the difference between strategy and plan. See, so that is developing audit plan, which is the second aspect of planning activity. So addresses how and contains the list of audit process. Plan is based on strategy. Got it? See, here you should not confuse. Observe what I am saying. There are three things. First one, planning process, which is broad, which includes the preliminary engagement activities and planning activity. Okay, planning activity is different from planning process. Again, this planning activity includes audit plan. Audit plan is a final document. Getting it? And planning activities include three things: audit strategy, audit plan and audit program. Now what is audit program? So here, audit plan, you have prepared the audit plan for entire company, for entire financial statements you have prepared the audit plan. But audit will be done by article assistants, right? Let's say there are three article assistants. Now you will say article assistant 1, you audit assets. Article assistant 2, you audit liabilities. Article assistant 3, you audit revenue and expenditure. Like this you will divide the work. Now you have to give a clear instruction to the article assistant about how they have to execute that work. For giving a clear instruction to the article assistant, you will prepare audit program. Okay, so audit program will be specific to individual audit assistant for guiding him on how to do the activities that are allocated to him. Getting it? This is audit program. So see, audit program is a detailed step by step procedure on how to audit an item given to the assistant. This is the three things involved in planning activities. Tell me, what are the three things that are involved in planning activities? First one, strategy, audit plan, and audit program. Once we complete discussion of these three things, our standard gets completed, our chapter gets completed. Let us start with audit strategy, overall audit strategy. Now, what are the benefits of this overall audit strategy? See, overall audit strategy offers you benefits with respect to resources. That is, what quality of resources has to be used for this particular audit. Resources here means, you always remember, article assistants, paid assistants, and the employees of the audit firm, they are resources. So which quality of resources I have to use, how many resources, that is how much quantity of resources I have to use, and at what time I have to deploy those resources, and how to manage these resources. Regarding these four aspects, the audit strategy will help the auditor understanding. So these are the four benefits of the audit strategy. You should remember that audit strategy will always give you the benefits with respect to resources, whereas entire planning process, you see here, there are benefits of audit strategy, and we have also discussed benefits of planning, right? Benefits of planning audit, both are different. For benefits of planning audit, there are six benefits, and for overall audit strategy, there are four benefits which are completely related to resources. So you remember it like that. So employment of qualitative resources, quantity of resources, timing of deployment of resources, and management of the resources. Next, factors while establishing audit strategy. See, this is very important. While you develop the audit strategy, you need to consider five factors. What are those five factors? First one is characteristics of the audit. Characteristics of the audit means, see, if you ask what are the characteristics of a person, what will you say? He is having some white hair, his height is some 6 feet, and he is having huge eyes, he is having spectacles. Like that you will say characteristics of a person. Similarly, there will be characteristics even for audit also. So examples of those characteristics: which financial reporting framework management has used for preparation of financial statements. That is one of the best example for characteristics of the audit. So you need to consider what are the characteristics of the audit for preparing overall audit strategy. Another example for characteristics is in which industry the entity is operating. This is also one of the characteristic understanding. So identify characteristics of the engagement. That is the first factor. Second factor, you should also identify what are the reporting objectives. Reporting objectives means, see, in case of a normal company, you have to give audit report, which is your reporting objective, and you should also give caro if it is applicable. Correct or not? Generally these two will be there, but in case of banking company, your reporting objectives will be even more. You have to give audit report. You have, caro is not applicable for banking company, you have to give lfar, long form audit report. There will be various certifications, like certificate on interest subvention, certificate on provisioning norms, NPA norms, like this various certificates will be there. All those reportings you have to give in case of bank, correct or not? So you should also ascertain what are the reporting objectives for this audit engagement. So first two factors. Next, you should also consider this point, I will tell you. You should also consider result of preliminary engagement activities. Preliminary engagement activities, just now I told you, as per SA 210 preconditions, and also as per quality control, client acceptance and continuance procedures you will perform, verifying the integrity. If you remember, just here itself we have discussed preliminary engagement activities, integrity, competence, compliance with ethical requirements, right? So the results of these preliminary engagement activities, that also you need to consider. So what did you do? First of all, you have identified characteristics of entity or characteristics of audit engagement, and you have also identified reporting objectives, right? Next, you have also identified results of preliminary engagement activities. Now, based on these three things, the remaining two factors will depend, that is, in which direction efforts of engagement team has to be focused. So where engagement has to focus more, so this will be decided based on characteristics of entity, reporting objectives of entity. So what are the timelines for reporting and the results of preliminary engagement activities. So characteristics of entity, while understanding characteristics of audit, you found out that there will be high risk of material misstatement in a particular area. Then engagement team's efforts will be focused on that particular area. If you identified a particular area is very material, then engagement team's efforts will be focused on that area, correct or not? So these three factors will impact the fourth factor, which is efforts of engagement team. Next, the fifth factor will also be impacted by these three things. What is the fifth factor? Nature, timing, extent of resources. Here, resources means you should always remember, resources means the audit assistants, article assistants, paid assistants, all these people are the resources for the audit firm. So, how many audit resources are required, that will be determined based on characteristics, reporting objectives, and results of preliminary engagement activities. Okay, those two are the remaining factors. See, factors that are significant in directing engagement teams' efforts, in which direction engagement teams' efforts has to be directed, and nature, timing, extent of resources necessary to perform engagement activities. Got it? So these, okay, this one, this one, on these three factors, the remaining fourth one, fifth one will be depended. Got it? Yes. So while designing the audit strategy, you need to consider these factors. Next, so that is about audit strategy. Now going to the audit plan. I told you audit plan is more detailed when compared to the strategy. Audit plan will be prepared after strategy is prepared, and audit plan is prepared based on the strategy. All these points I told you. Now what will be there in the audit plan? Audit plan contains risk assessment procedures, further audit procedures, and additional audit procedures. These three things will be there. So what are these risk assessment, what are these further audit procedures, we will cover them while discussing SA 315. Getting it? See, contents of audit plan, I told you audit plan will be very much detailed. It will contain planned risk assessment procedures. Risk assessment procedures you will perform as per SA 315. So, risk assessment procedures, you will perform them to identify the risk. See, there is a link. By performing risk assessment procedures, you will identify in which area there is a risk. Once you have identified the risk, then to respond to this risk, you will design further audit procedures. Understanding? So planned further audit procedures as per SA 30. So by performing the risk assessment procedures, you identified that risk. So in to deal with that risk, you have designed further audit procedures. Now by performing further audit procedures in that area, you have identified actual misstatements. Understanding? So by performing further audit procedures, you will identify actual misstatements. Getting it? See, this one we will see in SA-315 in detail, the interlinking between this risk assessment procedure and further audit procedure. There I will also give you the examples for these procedures. Okay? Yes, sir. Next, other planned audit procedures. So these things will be there in the audit plan. Clear? Yes. Next, documentation. Of course, you have to document overall audit strategy, you have to document audit plan, and you should also document any significant changes that are made to this strategy and plan during the audit, and who have made that change and why that change is made. All these things you need to document, right? Yeah. Next, audit strategy and audit plan. So what is the relationship between audit strategy and audit plan? This I have already told you. Strategy is prepared before the plan, and plan is more detailed than the strategy. All these I have told you. Strategy and plan are interrelated. If you change one, other also will change. Strategy provides guidance for developing the plan. This is a relationship between a plan and strategy. Next, responsibility for strategy and plan. That means who has to prepare strategy and who has to prepare audit plan. Of course, auditor has to prepare audit plan and audit strategy. Management will not prepare. Management's responsibility is to prepare financial statements, not the audit strategy and audit plan. Correct or not? Yes, sir. So see, it is the auditor's responsibility to prepare audit plan and audit strategy. And see, engagement partner and other key members should be involved in planning. So in the planning stage, you should involve the engagement partner, and other key members should also be encouraged to take part in the planning activities. Next, auditor may discuss planning with the entities management. So whatever the plan that you have prepared, can you discuss this with the entities management? See, if you discuss this with the entities management, there is a possibility that entity will get to know what areas auditor is going to audit. So entity will take all the steps to ensure that frauds in that area are not found out by the auditor. Correct? There is this possibility. If prior to performing the procedure itself, auditor tells to the entity that I am going to audit this area. So what auditor will do is, auditor has to communicate about his plan and strategy, but he has to take care that objective of the audit will not be compromised because of such communication. Because if you don't communicate with management about the plan and strategy, they cannot facilitate, they cannot arrange the required documents that are necessary for your audit. So for that purpose, it is very much important to communicate about your plan and strategy to management. But while communicating, you please take care that you don't compromise on the objectivity of the objective, arriving at the objective of the audit. Okay, objective of audit should not be compromised due to that communication. See, care to be taken not to compromise on effectiveness of the audit. Next, effectiveness means achieving the objective goal is nothing but effectiveness. I told you with the example also. Next, can plan or strategy be changed during the audit? Of course you can change. It is not that once you have prepared the plan and strategy and it is final, you can't change it. No, as the audit passes, as you found out new circumstances, as you found out new information, you can continuously keep on changing plan and strategy, right? So some of the situations because of which strategy and plan might have to be changed. See, result of unexpected events or changes in the conditions have changed, because of which you might have to change your plan and strategy. Next, audit evidence obtained, change in law notification or government policies. So all these things might cause the auditor to change his plan and to change his strategy. Getting it? Yes. Next, So I told you, you have to document audit plan, audit strategy, and any changes that are made to audit plan and audit strategy. Now, what is the benefit of such a documentation? Okay, how it will be useful if you document these things? See, benefits of such documentation. It will act as record of key decisions. So the important decisions that you have taken during the audit, the documentation will help to properly maintain as a record of all those decisions. That is one of the best benefit. Next, record of nature, timing, extent of RAP, risk assessment procedures that you have performed. Next, record of reasons for change in the strategy and plan. If at all you have changed the strategy and plan, why did you change the strategy and plan? You will get to know that if you properly maintain the documentation. Understand, these are the benefits of documentation. Next, moving to the final part. So we have covered audit strategy, audit plan. Now we will discuss audit program. Once audit program is completed, this chapter, the revision of this chapter gets completed. Clear? Yes. See, see, audit program. Now, audit program, what did I tell you? Audit program, it will be prepared specifically to each article assistant with respect to his work, with respect to work allotted to him. That is the audit program, right? So, audit program consists of list of verification procedures, verification that has to be done by the article assistant. That procedures list will be there in the audit program. Now the question is one audit program suitable for all the audits? So you have designed one audit program and you are using the same audit program for audit of all the entities. Can you use it like that? No, because the nature, circumstances of the entities will differ. You cannot prepare one audit program and use it for all of them, right? So one audit program is not practicable for all the businesses. You have to develop custom audit program for each of the business, right? Yes. Now, businesses vary in nature, size, and composition. I told you. So, efficiency and operation of internal controls also will vary. So, the way how internal controls are operating in a particular organization will be different from the way internal controls are operating in another organization. So the way you have to verify internal controls differs from organization to organization. So you cannot use the same audit program for all the organizations. So these are the reasons why you cannot use same audit program for all the organizations. Next, points to be considered in constructing audit program. So while developing a audit program, what points you should consider? You should consider scope and limitation of assignment. So what is the scope of audit? You need to consider it while developing audit program. Next, audit program must be written format. So it should be a written audit program. Next, identify the best evidence available. So in the audit program, what will be there? List of audit procedures will be there. So the list of audit procedures that are there in the audit program should be in such a way that by using that audit procedures you can obtain the best evidence possible. Okay, the audit procedures designed should be in such a way that the best possible evidence can be obtained by performing the audit procedure. Okay. Next, audit objective for each area. So while developing the audit program for each area, you need to decide, you need to know, you need to consider what is the objective behind auditing that particular item. Let's say you are preparing audit program for a fixed asset. Now, what is the objective behind auditing fixed asset? You wanted to know whether fixed asset is actually present. You wanted to know whether depreciation has been properly calculated on fixed asset, right? So, to achieve these objectives, you have to design the audit procedure. Understanding like this for each area, you should know the audit objectives. Next, possibilities of error. So while determining the audit program, designing the audit program, you should also consider what could be the possibility of error occurring in this particular area. So all these things you need to consider before framing, drafting a audit program. Clear? Yes. Next, now there is a possibility that in the audit program you are giving the list of audit procedures, and you are telling the article assistants, you please perform this particular audit procedures, you discharge your duties like this. You are giving a clear set of instruction. Now there is a possibility that audit assistants will perform just whatever is there in the program, and they want to go beyond the program. There is such a possibility, correct or not? If you don't go beyond the program, what will happen? You cannot identify all the audit procedures. See, it is not possible to design audit program for all the situations. As the audit progresses, you have to perform additional procedures also which are not there in the audit program. Audit program will provide a initial stage, initial procedures for performing the audit. But once the audit progresses, you need to suitably alter audit procedures. You should also perform additional audit procedures. You should not just uh, stick to that audit program, correct or not? So you need to instruct to the article assistants, the article assistants, I am giving this audit program, you follow this audit program, but don't just stick to this audit program. You keep open minded during the audit. If you face any areas, if you feel like performing any additional audit procedures, you happily perform additional audit procedures. Like this, you should encourage the article assistants. Getting it? See, assistant to keep open mind. Auditor develops a standard audit program to provide minimum essential work. So how the audit program will be developed? First of all, a standardized audit program will be designed, and for this standardized audit program, see, program may be altered as the experience is gained. Okay, you will take the standardized audit program and you will alter this standardized audit program that is that will be suitable to the entity as you gain the experience. So similarly, unnecessary procedures may be dropped off. So in the standard audit program, if there are any unnecessary audit procedures, those audit procedures you will drop off from the audit program. Next, so because of this reason, assistant should be encouraged to keep open mind beyond the program. Getting it? So you should ask the assistant, see assistant, you follow this audit program, but don't just stick to this audit program, you go beyond the audit program, you keep open minded. Getting it? Yes sir. Next, there are certain disadvantages because of this audit program. One of the disadvantage I already told you, or the article assistant might just stick to the audit program. Let us see. Work may become mechanical. Of course, you have given list of procedures and asked the article assistant to perform this. Then for the first audit it will be okay, for the second audit it will be okay. From third audit, fourth audit onwards, the same procedures he has to keep on performing. So it might become routine and mechanical to the article assistant. So to overcome this, you should ask the article assistant to keep open minded. Clear? Next, rigid and inflexible. So if you just give a list of procedures, it might become rigid and inflexible. Inefficient assistants may take shelter behind the program. So inefficient assistants, what they will do is, the assistants who don't want to perform the work, without performing the work, they will say that if principal has asked, why did you not perform that work, he will simply say that it is not written in the audit program. So inefficient assistants, what they will do is, they will not go beyond the program. Just whatever is there in the program, they will do that and they will sit silent, even though there is a necessity to do additional work and additional procedure. Understanding? So these inefficient assistants might take a shelter under this audit program. Getting it? Yes. Next, it may kill the initiative of efficient and enterprising assistants. So assistants who want to explore more, those assistants might feel like their hands are tied up with this audit program, right? So these are some of the disadvantages. Now to overcome this disadvantage, there should be proper imaginative supervision of the work that is done by the article assistants. Auditor must have a receptive attitude. So whatever the suggestions that the article assistants or the paid assistants are giving, auditor has to happily accept them and act upon them. And assistants should be encouraged to observe matters objectively. Objectively means based on facts. Don't uh, take biased decisions. So you should encourage the article assistants to observe the matters objectively. Getting it? Yes. Next, some of the advantages of the audit program. This is the last concept of this particular chapter. So what advantages the audit program will give? First of all, it will set clear instructions. No confusion will be there. If you have a audit program, clearly instructions you can give to article assistants. Next, total perspective of work to be performed. So you will get an idea of what is the total work that has to be there, and of this how much is done, still how much is pending. So just like if you see this particular chart, in these 3 pages you will get a total perspective of entire chapter number 3, correct or not? Like this, audit program also will give you total perspective of entire audit that has to be done. Next, avoids overlooking of certain books and records. So you will not take verification of certain books and records negligently if you have a detailed program, since you will be going as per that program. If the verification of that records is covered in the program, you will verify them, right? Next, responsibility for the work carried out by putting the signature. So in the audit program, you will give audit program to a particular article assistant, asking him to do this work. So how the audit program will be there is, it will contain list of procedure and findings, list of procedure to be performed and findings. Like this entire list will be there, and at the end the signature of the person who have performed this procedure should be there. Sometimes be, beside this only will be there, okay, list of procedure, remarks, and who performed this procedure. Like this it will be there. So if this is clearly written down in the audit program, who executed this particular work, you can fix accountability on that particular article assistant, you can fix responsibility on that particular person who have done the work, clear or not? This is also one of the advantage. Next, control the progress of audits. So the principal auditor is there na, he will be generally carrying out lot of audits simultaneously. His engagement teams will be doing them. He has to oversee lot of audits, 10 to 15 audits will be there, let's say, for example. Now by seeing the audit program of each article assistant, the principal auditor, engagement auditor, will get to know how much work has been done by this person, still how much work is pending. So you can track the progress with the help of audit program. Next, guide for audits to be carried out. It will act as a guide for the audit that has to be done by the article assistant. Got it? So these are the advantages of a audit program, and this is complete revision of chapter number 3. I hope you enjoyed this revision. I hope this revision helped you a lot. If you feel this revision helped you, you know what to do. You have to give me motivation by commenting the best lecture. Got it? Yes. So now I'll open chart for the 4th chapter.